He came quietly, in a borrowed suit that didn't fit, hoping no one would notice the janitor in the back row. He only wanted to see his son walk the stage, nothing more. But when the Navy Admiral entered the hall and her eyes locked onto the faded tattoo on his wrist, a tattoo she had seen only once before, on the man who saved her life, she froze. And in that single moment, everything about the graduation changed. The auditorium buzzed with excitement as proud families filled the seats. Flashing cameras, flowers wrapped in ribbons, teenagers wearing gowns and grins, it was a day everyone had dreamed of. Everyone, except Azan Malik, the school janitor. He stood near the last row, shoulders stiff in a suit he borrowed from a neighbor. It was too tight, the sleeves short, but he didn't care. Today wasn't about him. It was about his son, Saif, the boy he had raised alone since losing his wife during childbirth. Azan had worked 2 jobs, cleaned floors all night, slept in supply rooms, and still never let Saif miss a meal or a school trip. Today, that little boy was graduating. But Azan didn't clap loudly like the others. He didn't cheer. He didn't want to draw attention. He was only the school janitor, the man students passed by without noticing. Many parents didn't even know his name. He was used to that. What he wasn't used to was the sharp ache in his chest. Not from sadness, but pride. Overwhelming, almost painful pride. As Saif lined up backstage, tall, confident, wearing his graduation gown, Azan swallowed hard. "You did it, Beta, even when I almost failed you." He rubbed his wrist quietly over the tattoo he never showed anyone. A faded mark from a different lifetime. From a man he once was. From a world he had forced himself to leave behind. A world of uniforms. Training. Loyalty. Battle. A world that cost him friends, and almost cost him his sanity. He closed his fist. Not today. Today is about Saif. Then the door to the hall swung open. A hush fell over the crowd. In stepped Navy Admiral Zara Halim, the guest of honor invited to give the graduation speech. She walked with authority, her uniform crisp, medals shining. People whispered her name with respect. But she wasn't looking at the stage. Her eyes scanned the crowd, and suddenly stopped. Right on Azan. Her face went pale. Her breath caught. Because on his wrist, peeking beneath his too short sleeve, she saw it. A mark she had seen once before, a tattoo worn only by a secret Navy rescue unit. A unit that didn't exist on paper. A unit whose members were ghosts. And one ghost in particular. The one who had saved her life 12 years ago, then vanished forever. Her voice cracked as she whispered. "Commander Spectre." Azan stiffened. Nobody had called him that name in 12 years. He closed his eyes. Not here. Not today. But it was too late. The past had found him. And the graduation ceremony was about to become something no one expected. Azan felt her footsteps approaching before he saw her. The entire auditorium turned to watch, confused, whispering. Why was the Admiral walking toward a janitor? He kept his eyes down. But she stopped right in front of him. "Look at me," she said softly. He didn't move. "Azan Malik," she said louder, voice trembling with emotions she had buried for years. "Or should I say, Commander Spectre, the man who saved my unit from being wiped out?" Gasps spread across the crowd. Students turned. Parents stared. Saif, waiting backstage, peeked through the curtain, confused, worried. Azan finally raised his head. His expression was calm, but his eyes carried years of pain. "That man died 12 years ago, Admiral," he said quietly. "I'm just a janitor now." "No," she whispered, tears forming. "You're the reason I'm alive." The memory hit him like a punch, the explosion, the fire, the smoke. Him pulling her out of a collapsed structure, carrying her on his back through gunfire. The last mission before he quit forever. He clenched his jaw. "I left that world for my son," he said. He deserved a father, not a soldier who didn't know if he'd come home. Admiral Zara nodded slowly, understanding, but still overwhelmed. You sacrificed everything. He shook his head. No. I gained everything. My son is my world. At that moment, the microphone cracked. Next on stage for valedictorian speech. Saif Malik. Azan froze. Saif, top of his class, was about to speak. But before he walked, he looked straight at his father. He had heard everything. His voice echoed across the hall. If my father is a hero, and none of us knew, then today, I want the world to know the truth. The crowd murmured. Saif continued. This man cleaned floors so I could have a future. He hid his pain so I could smile. He worked while I slept. He sacrificed dreams so I could chase mine. If being a hero means saving lives, my father did that long before the Navy. Azan's eyes filled with tears. He covered his face silently. The auditorium rose to its feet, applauding not for the Admiral, not for the speech, but for the janitor in the back row. Admiral Zara stepped aside, letting Saif walk proudly to the stage. And Azan felt something he hadn't felt in years. He wasn't invisible. He wasn't forgotten. He wasn't a ghost anymore. He was a father. And for the first time in his life, he allowed himself to stand tall as the world applauded the man he had become.